It's a beautiful winter's morning here at Olympic Park, the home of champions here in Mildura. We've got a couple of champions here looking at this gorgeous land speed record bike, the Jawa. That's the way you say it, Stu Balls. Right. And I have Jason Stewart, I have Dave Parker, I have Timmy Osborne, and I have Trevor Monson. Wonderful to have all four of you here to tell me the story behind this bike and also what this name means here. Now, Stu Balls, Warren Monson was an absolute god around this place. Like, there was nobody that rode it better. I don't care what Trelaw says, and Darren Trelaw will probably tell you that as well. The greatest Victorian sidecar rider never to win an Aussie title. That'd be fair, wouldn't it? Yep. Phone rings right on the spot. It's probably Trelaw saying, that's not true. You as a proud Olympic Park member and Mildura Motorcycle Club member, Warren was the man around here, wasn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, what did he win? 9 Victorian titles.
Yep.
You know, his accolades speak for themselves. You know, he broke the track record several times. You know, then when he got that the big bang engine going, it sort of revolutionised the sport, in my opinion. And I'm a solo guy, but I've always had a big follow-on with Wazza. You know, he was
that bike sounded mint.
He was world class as far as a sidecar rider goes.
Had the tallest passenger in the world too, which kind of worked against the odds. Yeah. Can I just say to you, man, your boy was amazing, wasn't he?
Yeah. I think his specialty in my mind was his willingness to help anyone. You know, like in the pits, if someone had a problem,
yep,
they felt comfortable enough to come to him and ask him a question about how to fix something on the bike. And, you know, Dave was talking about that earlier with this particular bike on the setup on the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Over there is a couple of photos. Can you go and grab them, please, Parko? You're not the youngest one here, but you're at least closest to the fence. Tim, you had a lot to do with, motorcycle motors for, how many years?
Oh, probably 30, 40 years.
Yeah, just a few. So this is an important part of your evolution as well. You know, still to this day, your passion for things going fast and your tie-up with this bike.
Yeah.
Why do you love this so much?
Just a lot of satisfaction out of building something that works and gets results.
And you and Warren are probably very similar like that, because as many people know, Dave Parker, Warren was like the mad professor of sidecar racing. His brain never ever stopped. That is such a cool picture.
Yeah, that's my daughter Chantel did this. We were going to take it up the salt this year and put it on the table, but we got washed out, so we thought we'd come up here and give it to Trevor personally.
Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, so we got that done, and yeah, it's was a pretty special time up there for me, actually.
And it actually happened, so the whole salt racing thing was reasonably accidental in terms of you didn't know. And what is this hat you've got in your hand there, by the way? That's fairly important, isn't it, Parko?
Well, it certainly is. When you do 200 mile an hour on the salt, you get a 200 mile an hour cap.
Yes.
From the DLRA. And it's quite funny, really. I knew Warren from all the years at Gilman Speedway, and it was always g'day, 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 and he won all these FIM events and won 8,000 Victorian titles and everything like that. And the day that he got that hat, he sent me a photo of it with his bloody cheesy grin on it with his 200 mile an hour hat. So I had to ring him and say, you did all this other stuff, you sent me a photos, but you sent me a photo with a 200 mile an hour hat. So to me, you know, what he did was special to him as well, and being basically his last meeting, we really needed to celebrate, Warren and by building this bike.
Trevor, there was a never-ending pursuit of brilliance and excellence, wasn't there? It was never status quo. It was like, we'll just leave it like that. It was faster, smoother.
Yeah, like in West Australia at the Aussie titles over there, he talked about how that he was going back to the Salt Lake next year with a number of improvements that he was going to make, and he was going to break the world record.
Yeah, and usually when he said something, he went out and did it.
Exactly.
You must be so incredibly proud of the things that he achieved as a rider, but as a person. I mean, his service was truly amazing. I was saying to you before, you never really know somebody, unfortunately, till you go to their service. What a remarkable life.
Yeah, it's proud is a word that I don't particularly like, but you can hold your head high to know that, you know, not only for the people that knew him as a friend or a mechanic or whatever, but as a father, it just makes it extra special.
Absolutely. Stu Balls, you're well known for riding anything that will go fast. In the latter stages of your motorcycling career, this is the way you turn.
Well, this is what happens when you get to the physique that I am in. It is one form of motorcycle racing where the more hamburgers you eat, the more traction you get and the faster you go. Now, saying that, when Warren did break the 200 mile an hour speed, I think he went 207 or something. When he come back in, I was literally one of the first persons he was talking to, and he was still breaking traction at 207 mile an hour. So he needed to eat more hamburgers.
Did you point that out to him?
Yes, I did.
He probably disagreed with you.
Yeah.
Probably
So-
more honey would be the...
So his high busser at 200 mile an hour, he was still, I can't remember the exact number of 12,000 revs or something. He still had more in him, and it was still spinning the wheel.
Now, the amazing story about this bike relates to this in particular, this part down here. You were struggling to get this thing. You had the Burt Munro wobbles up big time, yeah?
Well, day one, day one, we turn up. None of us knew what we were in for, Warren included, and it was actually quite stressful because sign on and all the stuff that you had to go through, and there's a saying there, you got to hurry up and wait. So
Yes.
we're all in a big rush to get down to the start line. So I think day one we got one run in, and I got the speed wobbles pretty bad, and we had a clutch was slipping and a few other bits and pieces, and then the salt got shut down that afternoon, and then the Monday night we're just sitting around having a barbecue, having a couple of beers, talking about a few things, and I was always under the impression it was just a long track bike. I've rode a long track bike thousands of times.
A Lee Adams long track bike
I've
as well, which is cool.
I've been filled in by this bike plenty of times over the years, and I thought we'll just start with a standard setup and not really going that much faster. But then Tim got crunching some numbers and ticking the gears over in his brain, and got talking to Wazza and solved the issue. And I can't think of the technical term. It was rake and trail and whatever else. But if it wasn't for Wazza, we probably would have started day two.
Yep.
With not much progression from day one. And so instantly the next run, I think we broke the record. The bike handled like a bloody straight down the track. And the rest is history.
There are probably many legacies of Warren's life that won't ever come to light until many years later, because a lot of people would have their own stories.
Oh, yeah.
And this is another great one of them. And it was all to do with, breaking it down in really simple terms, Stu Balls, it was all to do pretty well with the front end geometry of the bike. And he just looked at it with his brain and kind of went, this is what we need to do.
Yep. And, it wasn't until after the event, and then unfortunately what happened with Wazza.
Yep.
Where you realise how sort of special those couple of days were. Because like Dave said, I've known Wazza since I was 17 or 18. 30 years at Speedway meetings, you turn up, have a chat, blah, 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 hang around for an hour at the club rooms, but you don't really know someone. But spending that week, there's only the six of us, and, hanging out, we got rained out, we done a bit of forward driving, and you just get to know someone completely different.
Yeah.
And, so it was a really special week, and that's where all this come about, doing a tribute to Wazza with the fairing and all that sort of stuff. And it's a shame we didn't get to do it this year.
And I noticed as well on the side here, there's a couple of names that I love seeing here. Phil Tainton Racing, which is such a huge part of Warren's life, and also Cleve's Garden Supplies. Any real connection goes on there, Parko? There's another one of these Victorian BAD A55s.
That's it. Well, you'd never ever get an exact copy of Warren's bike because this is really small compared. But when Jason mentioned about putting, something on the back mudguard, I thought, well, let's do something different. So I got on to Phil Tayton,
Yep.
who I've known for many years, and he put me on to the guy that makes the stickers for his bike and everything like that, and he sent over the stickers, and Tim basically, did all the rest, painted it up and everything like that, and so I'm really happy, the way it came out. It puts us in the semi-streamlined class as well, and I'm just totally stoked. As I said previously, I knew Warren for many, many years coming to Gilman Speedway, and it was always, g'day Warren, g'day Trevor, g'day whatever, as I'd walk past going to the grader or something. And it wasn't till we went to Lake Gardner and got washed out, as Jason said, that I really got to know the guy, and he was something special, and he had a wicked laugh. He took the pee out of me, I don't know how many times, and vice versa, and
Easy target, really.
yeah. So
Well, Trev, really, and I spoke to Summers about this. He said that Warren on race day was a very serious person. Like, he was really all about the job at hand, and he really tuned out of the whole social thing. Summers told me many times it was all business at the racetrack. So what Dave's saying, how he just said, "G'day, how you going?" There wasn't much banter. That was pretty consistent, wasn't it?
Yeah, he didn't, for many years, he didn't even have lunch before a race meeting.
Yes.
He was uptight, and quiet, would sit in the corner and just look at the bike and think. Yeah, didn't ever say much, but you knew what was going on in his head.
It's such a special thing that you guys shared when you didn't realise it at the time. And life's like that, Stu, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And I mean, even, I don't know, one Pacific conversation, I think him and Donna had an hour and a half conversation about honey, because Donna wanted to put some beehives in the backyard, and then the penny dropped, and next minute was really getting involved in that. And I mean, he's a wealth of knowledge for sure, and
Yeah.
without a doubt.
I remember Donna complaining, that, gosh, she's sitting up here for days, it's raining, all she's doing is reading books. But it actually gave you guys that time to spend together. Otherwise, if it had been all business and you had no downtime, you might not have had these conversations,
Definitely wouldn't. And, we went to Mount Ivor Station, and we went on this four-wheel drive trek through the station and everything like that. And, of course, we all had UHF radios, and I've got a Chinese four-wheel drive. These guys have got Toyotas and things like that. So there was a bit of
banter?
Bit of banter for the whole day. I don't think you're going to get through here, Parker. And we got through, and we had a bloody good time, and it was a really special week for me.
This is such a great tribute. I mean, just that big 43 in the front, the fact that Tainto's on there, the fact that Clevo's on there, the Full Noise Racing, of course, is on there. Huge part of Waz's racing career. Tim, right in under here with his tuning as well, and that picture which you are about to present to Trev as well. So, and we talked before about Teresa, her amazing performance at the service as well. You're surrounded by great people, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. People that just quietly knew what he was like. Yeah.
As we get older, I think we all appreciate moments, don't we? That moments are gone in a heartbeat, aren't they? And
that's it. Yeah.
I think the important thing is to always tell people how special they are to you. That's one lesson that I've learned as I get older, is to always remind people how special.
Yeah.
And let's face it, when it comes to special, Stu Balls, it doesn't get much more special than this, does it?
You're special to me, Wayne.
You're special to me too, Stu Balls. You want to present that beautiful... How good's that? That'll hang somewhere in Pride, I'm sure, with that hat probably somewhere there as well.
Yeah.
How special.
209.949 mile an hour.
What did you get to, Stu Balls? 100.
Second gear. But 138 mile an hour on a BMX.
On a Jawa, mate.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose when I've looked at it, and let me tell you another thing. When it happened, I'm just like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. And it's not till afterwards how you've actually broken a pretty significant record.
Absolutely.
And the quickest I've ever been on a long track bike prior on a 2,000 metre track's 170 kilometres an hour.
Yep.
So you're going 60, 70 k's quicker than any long track bike in the world. So when you go and watch the long track race and you go, Jesus, they're going quick. well, they're only going half the speed as what you're going at the lake. So it's a different thing, and that's where Tim come into it. Like, his engines have always been bulletproof. He's built the fastest motors going for Lee for, he said 30 years, but it's much longer than that because I'm 47 and you're already building engines when I was 16.
Yep.
So, you know, he built these engines. They went straight to basically 9,000 revs, and you could hold it there for
They
days.
didn't hand grenade, yeah.
And, you know, I think, what have we got now? 3 or 4 motors?
Yeah, we got a fleet of motors at the moment, so we've tried everything, but Tim's motors, you know, still come up trumps every time.
Yeah.
That bike there of Lee's, there's a little bit of conjecture because he thought he beat him once. That's had 55 races and 54 wins. That bike.
So who beat him on the 54th?
Well, the 54th was my fault because I didn't fill it up with fuel, and Lee ran out of fuel once. So
I claim that my brain's not real good anymore. But I beat Brodie Waters in Heat 1 at Bathurst when he rode this bike.
Yeah, well, I
don't know whether that's 100%
Listen to this,
accurate.
Trev. You were expecting this kind of banter today, weren't you?
And not only did Jason collect 2 new Australian land speed records, now the FIM, which is our controlling body for world racing, he actually broke unofficially, because the FIM weren't there, unofficially broke the FIM world titles in both of those classes as well.
Okay.
So because of the FIM weren't there, it's not official, but he absolutely blitzed them as well. So and what you know, Tim and Jason have done is not just beat the record, but beat it by 10 mile an hour, which is a lot.
You know, there's been a lot of moments in Jason's life where it's been a good thing that the official body wasn't there. So every now and again it bites in the A55, Jace. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. It's a beautiful morning here at a place that was absolutely dominated this place. So I think it's kind of appropriate that we're here. And Lee Adams was pretty dominant around this joint as well. And every now and again Santa Claus gets around this place pretty good on a jar and pops a few wheelies. But wow. What a special time. All right, so when are you heading back to the Salt?
March 2025. Bloody hell, 25. That's the future.
Holy cow.
So, yeah, I think, business as usual. Tim is the Burt Munro. He basically does it full time.
Yep.
Get the bike ready. So we need a good stint of weather for 3 months leading up to the joint. And then we need 4 or 5 days of good weather like this. And we can swap a few engines around and enjoy it.
Trev, you're in charge of the weather. I reckon you got a closer connection to the weather control than these 3 lunatics do. So can you all stand together, please, behind this beautiful bike? Come up and stand a bit closer for me. Look at that. I knew it was a